Hello everyone, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand finale of Banjo Tooie on the Nintendo 64. Thank you God, it's been so long in the making. As much as I love this game through and through, and as much as I've enjoyed doing this LP, you know, no LP should go on as long as this one has, and I'm just happy to get it done, you know. But, yeah, all in all, this is basically it, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the end game. We are at the final boss, and, as I mentioned previously in the previous part, normally the credits have already played at this point, but again, through the power of video editing, I will be showing off the credits at the end of this part, because, I find it really jarring to have the credit sequence happen in between, like, a major plot point, like this Banjo Tooie utilizing this cannon barrier to bring life back to land, you know. The credits should have been after this, the credits should have been after the boss, and I find it so jarring, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But with that, we're bringing life back to the land. There's King Jingling, his house being goldenized again. Goldenized, re-golden. Is that a real word? Golden. Well, it's got filled with life again, and King Jingling is as healthy as ever, including his little cute pet thingy, whatever the hell it is. I don't even know what that's meant to be. But now with that, it's time to heal up good old Bottles, who's I know he's been dead for a while. And again, I find it's kind of interesting how this entire story of Grunty charging up the cannon so she can suck all the island's energy out is in the background, because for the most part, during the course of this game, Banjo and Kazooie had no idea any of this was going on, you know. This game has been strictly a revenge quest up until this point, and it just so happens to be convenient that Grunty's been doing an evil scheme as Banjo and Kazooie have been getting revenge anyway, you know. I don't know, I find it kind of weird for this game, because you know, ultimately this is a kid's game, you know, and it's such a weird and dark plot to have for a kid's game, you know. Especially considering one of the main characters dies at the beginning. I don't know, I've always found that kind of jarring. But, yeah, Bottles is back, he's alive once and for all, and his first thoughts are his wife's gonna kill him. I'm pretty sure his wife will be a bit understanding of the fact he's been dead, but, you know, maybe no. Okay, maybe she isn't understanding of the fact that he's spent the entire game dead. Alright, never mind then. To be fair, we didn't tell her that the witch killed him, which is one of those things, like, how, if we weren't able to revive Bottles, how were we going to explain to his wife that Bottles died? Because he died when we first ran into her way earlier on, you know, and, I don't know. I also love how these two guys just sort of invited themselves into Bottles' home, like, yo, what's up, I'm the king, yo, and this here is Klungo, who looks very battered and bruised. Come on, you could have cleaned yourself up a little bit at least. You know, get some clean clothes, get something that isn't so ripped to shreds before you come. Come on, have some dignity, man. Good lord. Good lord. But basically, these guys are all going to celebrate now as we do our final battle on top of Grunty's tower. Wait, hang on a minute. That chicken has eyes. Is that chicken? Well, either way, his food has eyeballs. I don't think it might look burnt, but I don't think that's been on long enough if the eyeballs are blinking at you. I think she should put that on into the fryer for another, like, maybe 20 minutes. Jesus H. Christ. But of course, this is the end of the game, so if you recall previously as well, I did mention that we did have to do a second puzzle to get up to the final boss, and the puzzle entrance is not too far away from here. This kind of threw me off a hell of a lot when I was younger, because when I was first playing this game when I was younger, I thought, oh my god, this is the end of the game, we're about to win. Then I see another gate that just says, oh, by the way, you need another 10 or so jiggies to get through this. I'm like, what? Why, game? Why? That's cruel. Why you? Why cockblock me like that? I don't know. I just find it so weird that there's a second gate locked off just before the final boss, you know, ladies and gentlemen. But I digress, it took more, but I want to get to it. Anyway, pop on over here, we get to see Ding Pot. He's the guy that basically sent us to the final boss in the end of Banjo-Kazooie 1. And when we jump inside of him right now, he will basically rejuvenate our health. He will give us refills and all of our items ready for the final confrontation against Grunty. And trust me, you're going to want to take this, because the Grunty boss fight we're about to fight, well, let's just say Banjo-Kazooie's final boss, as much as I praised it in the past, as much as I said is one of the best final bosses ever, this one cranks things up even higher than the original Banjo-Kazooie boss fight, to the point that it's a pretty damn insanely good boss. This is to any game developers out there, I will just point to this game and say, this is how you do a climax. This is how you do an end game battle. Because you've got the atmosphere, the scenery's perfect for it, the music when it kicks in is going to be amazing, and this final boss fight is one of the greatest fights in video games. It's such a well done fight, and I love it through and through and through. And yeah, if you think we were done with the quiz show, we're not exactly done with the quiz show 100% yet, because the quiz show does make a return in this boss, but don't worry, it's not waiting around for about 5 to 6 minutes on end just answering questions. It's integrated kind of seamlessly into the boss fight. But this here is the Hag 1. Yes, the tank itself with Grunty piloting is the boss this time around, and oh sweet Jesus Christ, is this a difficult boss fight. Like, insanely difficult. I recommend having the honeyback cheat. I recommend just having as much as you can get before entering this boss battle, because Grunty will throw absolutely everything at you, and she will use all of the abilities that you've acquired throughout the game and put them to the test. Well, maybe not all of them, but the majority of the abilities you've got throughout the course of the game you will be utilizing, and basically you just need to take everything you learned up to this point and use this and just beat this final test. And again, it goes kind of similar to the actual boss fight in Banjo-Kazooie 1, where the boss fight is basically a test of everything you've learned throughout the course of the game. And I think it's a perfect way to do final boss, you know? But again, like I said, she's going to do some quizzes again, and she'll give us a question, and depending on if we answer the question right or wrong, she will shoot us with either an easy attack or a hard to dodge attack. And it's kind of weird, actually, because why would she elect to use a slow attack if we do the answer question? If we answer the question right, you know, that's kind of... What? I don't understand Grunty's logic here. But again, if you recall in the previous part as well, or at least the part before the previous part, I did activate the homing eggs cheat, and you're going to want to do this and get your grenade eggs out to blast her as much as possible. And basically, as this fight goes on, the music's going to get more and more intense, the boss fight itself is going to get more and more intense. She's going to keep throwing out brand new attacks at you constantly during the course of the whole fight, and the whole battle is literally you adapting to the environment, you adapting to what she chucks at you. And again, I love this battle. I love it. It's such a great end game. It's just a perfect way to sum up Banjo Tooie, and it goes to show this game is a much more ambitious game as Banjo-Kazooie 1. And there are things in this game, obviously, that I mentioned that I don't like as much, but in terms of ambition, this game is insanely ambitious in comparison, and this shows so much in the final boss here, where it just cranks up everything to 11, you know, she chucks a lot at you. And the only sort of downside I can say about this boss is it can maybe be really challenging. Like, I know people like challenge, but remember, this is a kid's game, and being a kid playing through this boss fight is, needless to say, one of the most frustrating experiences of my childhood. Fun, but frustrating, you know, and basically you want to be 100% completed with this game when you get to this boss, you know, because it makes things so much easier, you know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, when she actually does do a spell attack statue, I do advise just sort of tilting Kazooie's head up a little bit using the C-stick and then strafing from left to right to dodge her, Gruntilda's attacks. Again, it's still pretty easy to hit her, but it's a lot easier with the Home X cheat on and whatnot. And again, she keeps adding on to her arsenal every single phase we do with this boss fight. Again, though, but one of the big things I know a lot of people may not like about this boss fight, apart from the fact it's insanely difficult, is the fact it is very long. There are a lot of phases to this boss, there is a lot of layers to this boss fight you have to deal with, and even eventually the way you attack Grunty is going to start changing up slightly as well, because we won't be able to attack her directly at one point in the boss. We'll need to attack the inside of her mech using our eggs. And, again, it's one of those things. You just need to sort of adapt and learn as you go along in the boss fight. And it's just pretty damn good, what can I tell ya? Now, you can use other eggs to damage her other than the grenade eggs. But, the grenade eggs do the absolute most damage. So, trust me on that. It's, you're going to want to basically use the grenade eggs. They do more damage and it makes this fight go by quite a bit quickly, ladies and gentlemen. But again, you can use the other egg types if you really do want to hurt her, but they won't do nearly as much damage. And the boss fight will go on just that much longer if you do it. What can I tell ya? Now, whenever her drill on the actual front of the tank is spinning, don't touch it. It will hurt you. It's a drill. Don't be bloody stupid now. I do like how it also has the Great Britain license plate on the back of it. It's just, it's a lot of attention to detail. I mean, it kind of makes sense because, well, Rareware, the developers of this game, are British developers, but I don't know. But again, I just love this boss, it is such a well done fight. That's mainly what I'm really getting at here. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Now that you get to this point of the boss fight as well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll notice that her engine's going to start stalling a little bit. Basically, what you want to do at this point is send the Clockwork Kazooie eggs inside the exhaust port, and you'll see one of these two batteries. Basically, go up to the battery with the Clockwork Kazooie egg and explode it. You have to repeat this twice, once for each battery, obviously, and yeah, that's basically all there is to it. Now, after you destroy one of the batteries, it will be a little bit harder to get the second battery because now the lasers at the back of the Hag 1 machine will actually be turned on as well. So, you just need to be on your toes. And the problem with this phase of the boss when she's spinning around with the laser beams is she does spin really rapidly, and she does get a little bit faster every time, I think, as well. So, you do need to be on the toes. You do need to be prepared for when she's about to do her drifting donut action, ladies and gentlemen. But I digress. Indeed-o. Yes. But yeah, I wasn't joking when I said this boss fight is insanely long. Like, this is without a doubt the hardest and longest boss fight in the whole game, and it can be a bit much for some people. And again, one of the things that can also be really annoying is whenever you get to this phase of the boss, if you fail to get the Clockwork Kazooie egg inside the exhaust port, then Grunty will actually be able to basically turn the engine back on, and you have to wait another phase before you can actually hit the battery inside and do damage. I don't know, it can be tedious and it can be frustrating. That's mainly what I'm getting at here, ladies and gentlemen, Like, again, I'll praise this boss fight through the roof. It's not a perfect boss, but, in terms of just being a final boss, it does really feel like a perfect endgame thing. But as you can see there, the boss fight gets really difficult, and even just getting the Clockwork Kazooie egg in the exhaust port can be a challenge in and of itself, because you need to be extremely on the ball with how quick you do this thing, ladies and gentlemen. But, I digress. What can I tell you? Indeed. Okay, maybe I can get it in this time. Third time's the charm, maybe, hopefully. Oh, thank God I got in. Now, one of the most frustrating things about this boss fight as well is to be careful in here because obviously there are Grunty's mooks. Don't run into them. It should go without saying, but if you run into the Grunty's mooks inside the actual Digger mech, your Clockwork Kazooie egg will explode and, well, you have to repeat the entire segment again, and it's not fun. What can I tell you? Oi. Someone phone for a towing truck. Oh, Jesus. And again, like I said, even though her mech's been disabled and whatnot as well, she's still going to be adding more and more layers onto the top of the boss fight. She's going to start attacking you insanely quickly again. And now that we got to this point, she's going to start checking out mooks. You know, more and more layers just keep getting added on top. When you think she's down and out, she will always have more tricks up her sleeve. And it's, again, I love it. I just absolutely adore this. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? What can I tell you? Indeed. In fact, I would argue this bit where she actually sends the mooks out is probably the second toughest part of the fight. Because those mooks can clip you if you don't know what you're doing. Actually, no. Third hardest part. The second hardest is obviously getting the Clockwork Kazooie in thing. Now this here is the final part of the boss fight and the hardest part if you don't have Honey back. She will basically fill the entire arena with toxic gas. Now, if you have Honey back, this isn't too big an issue. But it means you basically need to beat her before the toxic gas kills you. And when you get to the final hit by her as well, she's going to start shooting out her super attack. And this thing is insanely powerful, and I think it's insta-kill. So you don't want to be hit by this final blast, so sidestep as much as possible. And what you're aiming to do here is actually you're aiming to hit her while she's holding it before she gets to throw the energy blast at you. And basically make her drop the spell. Once you hit her the final time, bada bing, bada boom, that is it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just completed Banjo Tooie. Hell to the yes. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Banjo Tooie is 100% done and dusted. And what can I say about the game, really? It's just an absolutely solid experience throughout. And, you know, I have a couple of nitpicks about the game here and there, and I do prefer the original game. But this one is still an absolutely fantastic time through and through. It has a fantastic soundtrack, has fantastic level design, the gameplay is top notch, and again, that final boss, oh, so good, so good. And it's a game I would honestly recommend to basically anybody who likes collectathons, you know, ladies and gentlemen. And if I were to advise people to get this game, I would advise them to get the Xbox Live version, because a lot of the issues I do have with this have been taken out of the Live version. So I would advise that version over this one. But with that is it. The LP is done and dusted finally, and I can move on to something else. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. And yeah, don't be sheepish, and I'll catch you all again. Bye!
Thank you.